Welcome to This Week in Pulling, the show that brings you all the action from the world of tractor and truck pulling. I'm Dan Mayer, joined by Jeremy and Miles Krieger, and each week we'll dive into the latest highlights, breaking news, and behind-the-scenes stories from the sport we all love. From upcoming events, standout performances, and the rich history that shape pulling into what it is today, we've got you covered. So buckle up, This Week in Pulling starts now.
Well, welcome back. This Week in Pulling, episode number 35. Guys, how we doing tonight?
Good evening, everybody. Happy to be back for another week of This Week in Pulling. Welcome. Happy to be here. Thanks for joining us yet again, Miles and Dan. It's great to see you as always.
Absolutely.
Yeah, glad to be back. It's cold outside, gentlemen.
That's the truth. It is cold and windy, and I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to check it out tonight, but of course we're recording this, but the Northern Lights are, the Aurora Borealis are out and about in our neck of the woods. So if you have the opportunity to get somewhere dark and look north tonight, you should be able to see them. They're pretty.
Yes, I did take a quick peek, and I did see them.
Where I am, there's way too much. There's way too much light around here. It's just too much light pollution, so I can't really see them unless I, get somewhere that's much darker. But they are out and about, and hope you get to see them if you look outside tonight. Fellas, I wanted to, before we get started here tonight, just recognize and say thoughts and prayers are with the Wiley family out of Kentucky here tonight. Unfortunate loss of Miss Melanie here this evening to cancer, unfortunately. So thoughts and prayers with the Wiley pulling team and Mr. Eddie and Mackenzie and Jacoby. Really hate to hear that today, and our thoughts and prayers are with them for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I second that. That's
Certainly don't like to hear that at all, and obviously, in lieu of messages, it was posted yesterday on Facebook for all to see with regard to what Steve's been fighting, but obviously, my boss, has been fighting some cancer, and I just had his first chemo treatment last week, and wish him well as well. So, we don't want our people to be ill. We don't want our people to fight and struggle and suffer, and that's just not how any of us envision or hope for it to be. So, when it happens, it hurts.
For sure, it sure does. And again, thoughts and prayers are with those families and everybody fighting here tonight, but especially with the Wiley family as they grieve the loss of Miss Melanie and work towards a new normal here, unfortunately.
Yeah, just totally, like you say, just totally hate to hear that. And you say, Steve, get well soon. He's a fighter.
Absolutely.
We're all thinking about you.
Well, and on a lighter note, fellas, I know Dan, you just got back from the sunny West Coast, and I do silently curse you for posting a big picture of a bag of In-N-Out burgers, and I still, at almost 50 years of age, have not had the privilege of being able to sample such goodness. And I hope to one day rectify that situation, as you both sit here and nod at me like, oh, yeah, those are the best damn things you'll ever put in your mouth there. And, I hear there's one coming to Nashville in the coming years. So
the world's biggest or something, isn't it? They're supposed to build like
to the Music City one day soon and have a garbage burger or double or whatever they call them.
Double.
Lucky's is coming to Indiana. In-N-Out's coming to Tennessee. All going to be right in the world.
Yeah. Now, I do have to say, though, that In-N-Out Burger was not the best thing of the weekend.
Really?
Now, I got to tell you guys, so Paul Barcelos, a gentleman that bought Craig Corzine's tractor a couple years ago. So last year when we went out there, same time, beginning in November, he'd never driven the tractor before, first time running the tractor.
Sure.
So runs twin Hemis on it.
Okay.
And first time running it, last year. So he's had a year under his belt, came out this past weekend, got a second and a third with it. But this man can cook. Let me just tell you, we're going to have to do a cooking segment with him every year we go out there, because I had for the first time Portuguese sausage.
Okay.
Linguiça, I think they call it.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Remember the man. This stuff is it's got a bite to it.
Well, and you are a connoisseur of the cased meats. Like you love.
Yes, I am. I do. Yes, and in linguiça, so we had that one of the nights, and then with these Portuguese beans. So these baked beans, and they got ham, and they got all kinds of goodies in there. And so Portuguese beans and Portuguese sausage. Okay, right on. So
Solid.
the next day he had Portuguese tacos.
Okay.
Carne asada, chicken. Oh my goodness.
And the day after that, you had Portuguese colon bowl.
well, I had to get on an airplane the next day. But the thing with it is, okay, so out west, where we were what, 30, about 30 miles northwest of Fresno. Okay. So when they tell you that, okay, this is mild salsa and this is the hot salsa.
Oh,
be aware.
Stick with the mild.
Yeah, I like hot salsa. Oh, yeah, I wasn't ready for that. So that was, but yeah, no, it was, thanks to Paul and his crew there. I mean, he is definitely a gourmet, and this guy he can pull tractors too. And he's talking about coming, out east a little bit here. So maybe, mess with the Outlaws a little bit. They run the same rules, that 7,400 pound class. And then at night, for trying to remember, I think it was Friday night, Donnie Sullivan and we ended up out in the campground, and we had one of the gentlemen that works with the MLM Motorsports. He's like the guy in charge of putting the vehicles down the track. He had made a fried rice on his Blackstone. He just took the whole Blackstone. It was fried rice. Unbelievable. So, yeah. So the In-N-Out burger kind of goes, on the tail side of all that. But yeah, it was. But on top of that, the pulling was great. I got to add, I got to tell you about the pulling. And every year that I go out there, there's always some goodies out there. I always seem to find the goodies. And this year I found a couple of goodies. Now, I know you may have saw that one picture that I posted. But let me see if I can find it here. Okay, maybe I can't find it. Let's see. Now, last year when we were out there, saw the war wagon, the Seitzma family out of Washington. They have the old war wagon of Billy Beers and Paul Norman. Right. And he was telling me pretty much the only thing left from the old war wagon is the fuel tank. And I think it was like the rear end, like maybe the ring and pinion. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot left of the old war wagon. So it was kind of there wasn't much left of it. And I can't seem to get the picture to load for me for some reason. So, but I did the old Nightmare, the Alvarez family that pulled years ago in, the mid 80s with the 3 Rodex on their tractor. Sure. And the grandson now has the tractor. And if I can find it here. There it is.
Trouble Friday night, right?
I did see that.
Yep, they're that Friday night. And so then there is the that is the tractor there, how it looks now.
Okay. And then so it was a triple, and now they just have one on it.
Yep. So here's a picture of it back in the day. So this is it back in the mid 80s when it had the 3 engines on, the 3 Rodex on there, and they ran the Indy Super Pull a couple times. And you see here they're pulling the old Cal Poly sled, and but yeah, that was kind of neat to see that one out there this year. That was kind of a surprise.
Now, did they have like a 58 mod class out there, or what?
Yeah, they run a light mod class. That's what he ran. So it's a single engine class. Okay. But that's where you'll see like there's a turbine that runs in that class. There's a couple single Allisons that run in that class, and then Brad Sullivan's the guy that owns the team there, Steve Melanesia. He's got a blown on his tractor as well, a blown engine on his tractor. And that's the light mod class. And then they have the 7,400 pound class. That's the 2 engine class. And then they have the heavy mods, which they don't really run the heavy mods too. They just kind of run them at that, big event there. Where last year we had, I think there was 8 of them. And this year we're down to 3. So
that's where Korea is, Jeremy.
Yep. And Korea ran, Jeremy ran the tractor both nights and had an opportunity to talk about grandma as well.
Okay.
And
that's awesome.
But it was a good time out there as always. And
how did things go with the new Californian tractor, the Fagundes entry? I didn't get to see his passes, but how did he do?
He did very well with it. Robbie Fagundes. Yep. I've got a picture of it here if I can find it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I saw the tractor. I just wasn't able to tune in to watch him make his passes.
He got beat by Melanesio on the first night.
Okay.
Yeah, Melanesio beat everybody both nights.
And then, but I don't. Was he third and second?
Yeah, he was second and third. I want to say that Robbie. He lost an engine on Friday night. So, yeah, he did lose an engine on Friday.
But he went like 340 or 350 feet. Like he was hauling a mail.
Oh, he was hauling and debut with that tractor. And he wants to come out east with it. So you may see it a couple times. But yeah, it was
come to Toma.
Impressive debut. I mean, it's a home built tractor.
Okay. I was going to ask you if it was one they built or if they acquired it from, another chassis builder or.
Yep. No, it is a brand new, home built. They built, they got some parts and pieces from Modern, but let's see, here it is there after running on Friday night, but gotta like the white. White's kind of a cool. You don't see too many white tractors. Kind of a cool scheme.
I think it's kind of like the opposite of the Sullivan black. You get. You get the Kentuckian in black and now the Californians in white, good guys, bad guys. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What is it? The good guys wear the white hats and the bad guys wear the black hats. But yeah, great debut for Robbie and, that new tractor. And like you say, lost an engine there on Friday. They got that fixed and went back out there. And, he was a little nervous, as far as, obviously new build and, how everything was going to hold up. But, very happy with the performance there. And like I said, California pulling's for real. I'm second year out there, and I am really impressed the way that, things have come along there with the California pullers and Brian Massetti and his group, the MLM Motorsports, that puts on that Golden State Invitational at Madera Speedway right in the infield. It's an asphalt, like a 3rd mile asphalt track. And you pull right in the infield. But I mean, if you guys had the opportunity to watch it, I mean, they were moving, quick. I mean,
that's what you said.
I think we had 13 classes and boom, boom, boom. They, now obviously some classes only had a couple vehicles here and there, but for the most part. I didn't
realize, Dano, that Old Jenny had been
a week and a half ago.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. So see, and that he made a heck of a pass with that truck. So I love that full body truck.
Yeah, and they met. I want to say they met in like Nevada or something. The truck was pulled out at Diesels and Dark Orders, and then they met out. They bought it, and then afterwards it was taken out to Nevada, and then they went and they ran the truck actually last week up at Babel's Pool. Up in about an hour and a half north of where we were. And that was a Battle in the Farm pull, I think they call it. Right. And he won a class up there with it. So within a week and a half, he's...
Jeremy, have you seen that diesel truck?
I don't think so.
It's a two-tone Dodge. It's...
they got 2 of them. Well, they had 2 of them.
It's gorgeous. Just gorgeous. So...
Yeah, they had... 2 of them at one time, and then now they sold this one. But limited pro diesel trucks in California, we had 13 of them that were there that were invited. And some of the guys were telling me that, if they all get together, there's probably 25, 30 of them out there. Okay. And there's quite a few Duramaxes. I think we had 4 or 5 Duramaxes in that class, which is you don't see out here, which is kind of cool. So that was also pretty neat to see.
Good deal. And then good crowds out there?
Yeah, the Friday night crowd was about the same as it normally is. And then Saturday, they packed them in there. Saturday, the grandstand itself was pretty full, just about, and then it kind of goes over in the other grandstands there. So I think they had their best crowd ever. This is the 4th year they've been doing it. And this was the best crowd they've ever had on Saturday. So
were you doing live PA as well, or just
no,
the full live
just
broadcast?
doing Jim Massetti, Brian's dad, does the announcing for the MLM polls. So he did that, and then I just did for the live stream.
Okay.
So that was that worked out very well, and because it's like a fairgrounds grandstand kind of thing, with the cover over the top of it, and just that old school look, old school NASCAR track really is what it really looks like. But I also found, let me see if I can find my other picture here. Also found another relic that has pulled for a lot of years, the old prosecutor truck.
Nice.
Now, these trucks, there was 2 of them. There was the judge and the prosecutor. And, I mean, these trucks go back to the early 80s and pulling in the stadiums. And, yeah, this is the old the prosecutor now. A team out of Idaho owns it. And they have a 2-wheeler, and they got this prosecutor. I mean, this truck has been owned by, I don't know, 5, 6 different. It's gone through a lot of hands over the years, but it was kind of cool to see it out here. And the Reedy family, the wife drives this truck, drives the 4-wheeler, and the husband drives the 2-wheeler. So that was kind of neat to see as well. So I'm always on the hunt for old looking or old pulling vehicles, and it was good to see the prosecutor make its way out there. So originally was from California. What's that?
I was telling Jeremy Skylar Nybar was there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought that there was a picture of like a truck that you took a picture of, and then like his truck was kind of beyond it. And I thought, I know that truck.
Yep. Now I haven't seen him since Phoenix. When he pulled out in Phoenix there with PPL 14, I think was the last year. And
now was that the same year he came out east and made the swing?
He did an ITPA swing with us for a few days, I know. And he did a PPL hook. He
went to Bowling Green too that year, didn't he?
No.
Okay.
No.
I know he made a couple PPL hooks.
He did 2 PPL hooks, and then he swung through and did an ITPA or 2, and then made his way back to Rigby. And obviously they're so busy with Live a Little and all their production stuff they're doing. I think it's awesome they can still go and do some pulling here and there.
Well, did he drive, or did he send somebody to drive it for him?
No, he was in the truck.
Okay.
Yeah, he was there.
He was second, I think, on Friday night.
Second on Friday, and I want to say he was in the top 5 there on Saturday as well. He was kind of he was hoping to get through the weekend because the engine was hurt. He had hurt it at an event, a couple months ago, or I want to say, and he was just trying to lip it through the weekend, and he did so. So it didn't. He said it might go or it might blow up. I don't know. He says we'll see what happens, but it made it through the weekend. So the track kind of threw a lot of them guys for a curveball. If you saw on Friday night, everybody was a little bit light on the nose, and it was, it was hooking them off to that right side. But Saturday night, the 2-wheel drive class put on a good show, and that was good to see. And Brant had a great weekend there for, with his new sponsorship there on the truck. And
well, I know some of the CP Carrillo guys were out there. I saw Justin Arias, who I follow on Instagram. I know he was out there and taking some photographs. Of course, he is an Arias, but I think he also does some development work for CP Carrillo. So I had the opportunity to see him and visit with him a little while in Bowling Green, and it was good to see him, posting some photos out there. But he also was at some SCTA stuff at the dry lakes, not far. Like I don't know exactly where they are, but apparently there's some dry lakes not far from Madera, because he was kind of doing double duty. There's some land speed stuff going on close, and then the pulling.
Okay. Yeah, I heard I was trying to think what there was something else, maybe sprint cars or something. There was not too far from where we were. There was something going on, and they had an event going on there, and some kind of. I was talking with somebody, and they just referred to, oh yeah, we got the sprint car series is going on, but yeah, no, it was a great weekend, and congratulations all the winners, and hope everybody, that was a great way to end the season. I'd have to say that was a way to put a cap on the season, and with all the good competitors out there in the West Coast, and good to see that it's growing. That's what I like to see.
Well, it was El Mirage. I just looked it up. El Mirage Dry Lake is where they were.
Okay.
And I don't know where that is in relation to Madera, but I know they were there at the same time.
Pretty big weekend up here in this area as well. You think about the volleyball team from our school picked up the win and won the state championship, which was pretty awesome on Saturday. We got to experience that, and I got to do something I've never done before on Friday, as well as I was the officiant for Callie and Colin Ross's wedding in just outside of Nashville. So pretty neat deal there.
Yeah, that's a good deal there, huh? That was looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, Mother Nature kind of tried to spoil it for a second. And then after Mother Nature got done trying to spoil it, Mother Nature gave us an awesome window. So I kind of jokingly talked about it with the
good
folks
luck
that were there. But I just said, hey, we've covered the track, and when we'll be ready to pull here in just a little bit, and we'll get the track uncovered and get back to it. But neat to see some of our polling family there, and it's not very often you get to see them in suits and ties and dressed up and on the dance floor and that kind of deal. But I got to do that and enjoy myself a little bit with them.
Good for you, and I hope your record stays 100%. That's what I always say. Now I'm still 2-2. I think I've got 5 years and a year and a half, maybe, out of the 2 that I've hooked to the sled so far.
There you go. That's pretty good. That's a good record.
Yeah, so far so good.
And don't they always say if it rains on your wedding day, that's a good thing? That's a good luck. So
Well,
they got that going for them.
Alanis Morissette says, but I think that's ironic.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was like 99 degrees in my wedding day, and really hot. But yeah, so it was at Reba McEntire's former mansion.
Okay.
Beautiful area. And Colin and Callie were awesome. It was an honor to get to be asked to do that, and obviously been able to watch and see and watch them, grow as a couple, but also grow up in this sport with us. And so pretty neat to be a part of that, and wish them nothing but the best, and appreciate, like I said, the opportunity. So pretty exciting deal there. And then, guys, we've sort of entered this window of where we're in the banquet season, and we've entered this window where we're starting to learn more about upcoming events, and it seems like there's going to be a lot of announcements and a lot of news coming here in the coming weeks, obviously around banquet season, that kind of tells us, hey, this is what the dance card's going to look like next summer, and you better be ready, type of thing. So we've already had the big announcements we kind of highlighted last week with Florida, and so pulling season's going to start even earlier for some of these folks, and then it's going to be a little bit more, it's going to be just keep build and boost here. As I was just thinking today on my run that we are just right at 3 months away, basically from when I have to get into full crunch time and prep for Farm Show.
Yeah. That's you usually like to kind of, get through the holidays and just kind of, start scratching away at it. And before you know it, it's here. And yeah, that's
like it's November to December, December to January, January to February. We are 3 months away from Wednesday night pulling in Louisville, and I'm going to Louisville this week. We're leaving here in just a day to head to the North American, and it's always kind of the chance I get there and kind of walk through all of the halls and the expo hall, and I marvel at how this week, while I'm down there, that building serves as the facility for the largest livestock exposition in North America. And then in 3 months, it will serve as, the largest farm show in North America. And it just blows my mind that in the very place where my sheep are penned is where Case IH booth might be, in in just 3 months. So it's pretty awesome. I can't wait to get back down there and watch my kiddos do what they love.
And this year, it's going to be the largest 50th birthday party in the state. That's what I'm going with. We get to
Jeremy
party.
turns 50 the day after Farm Show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunday of Farm Show week, I will turn 50. So,
Yeah, I had some discussion this weekend about your birthday upcoming and what we needed to be planning and prepping for that. There's some folks that are already scheming on that whole thing, so you might just strap in and get ready.
Now, what day of it is going to be Wednesday? Of the
His
farm?
birthday is Sunday.
No, my birthday is
Afterward,
Sunday.
Okay, so after. Okay.
Yeah, after the Saturday night finals, 12:01 a.m. I turn
on.
will be 50 for me. Half a century in this business.
And just for your reference sake, Dano, that means that Valentine's Day for us this year is on Saturday.
That's correct.
Okay.
So
which
we'll
it very rarely to never is. Like it does not happen very often.
get to have a Saturday Valentine's Day in Louisville with all of our
Yes.
buddies and their sweethearts.
Our Valentines.
Well, he and I won't have our Valentines at the at the Treasure Bowl.
Yeah, I can guarantee mine won't be there.
Nor will I.
I can guarantee that one.
She won't be watching at home either.
No live streaming, no nothing.
Yes, I can guarantee that.
Yeah, I'm almost scared to ask who you were scheming and plotting with while on your Nash Vegas conversations.
Yeah, it's coming. Wheels are in motion. Be ready.
Feeling I'm going to be abducted and thrown in a white van and sent to 4th Street Live.
He might be somewhere.
I just hope there's a hotel room close by.
It's the plan is just in action. It's coming.
Okay, that's fair.
I just want to throw a correction to the Florida poll. There's been a lot of discussion about with the Florida poll and who can pull, who can't pull. So if you have a Grand National license, it's a Grand National event. So if you have a Grand National license, you can go, and then it'll be promoter invite as well. So kind of like Chapel Hill. I think that's how Chapel Hill does it, I believe, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
So, I mean, if you look at, numbers from last year, as far as, who had a Grand National license, but then who made all the events, that was obviously a different number. So I know some people were asking about that. So I just wanted to clarify.
Sure.
If you have a Grand National license for 2026, you can go, but if you don't, then you would like to go, then you can fill out the form and they'll see if they'll go and see how many of the numbers look and pick them from there. So that's how that deal is going to work.
Well, and Dano, we're going to need you to be the pulse of any news and late breaking things that we hear out of the PPL banquet this weekend, as Miles will be showing sheep Saturday evening and will not be able to make the trip, and I will be headed down south to Dale Hollow State Resort Park to be with the KTPA, and their banquet is the same evening there. So I will be sort of out of pocket and unable to catch the new schedules and all the storylines. So we'll kind of lean on you to relay the messages so we know what we're going to talk about next week.
I will do my best to try to keep
the South Down Association's annual meeting voting on judges and things like that. So,
but Miles, I do want to say, when you do go to the fairgrounds, because driving back on Sunday from the airport, drove by the fairgrounds, and it looks like they're building something in front of Broadbent Arena.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Have you seen? Okay. I mean, the last time I went by there, it was all tore up and like, where are they going to park rigs and everything? And now the last time I went by there, it looks like they've starting to build something in that parking lot there, as far as like a structure of some kind. So
I think it's another wing coming or an addition to
another expo area.
Because I know there was talk about them eliminating, the old wing from Broadbent to Freedom Hall. They were going to redo that that was it, because that's basically the oldest part of that fair complex, isn't it?
I believe so.
The West Wing, is that right?
Is that what it's called? West Wing. Okay.
The
But yeah,
one year,
I mean,
the
I
one year
remember
yeah, that little connector there.
because I remember as well as you guys probably like the first time you went to Louisville, late '80s when I went to Louisville for the first time. There was Broadbent Arena, there was that in Freedom Hall, and
Yep.
then there was nothing like, all the other stuff there is, the East Wing and all that was built, afterward. But I just remember the farm show was basically that stretch from Broadbent to Freedom Hall, and now it's massive with all those other wings. But so yeah,
Well,
I was just thinking.
adding roundabouts, and they've been adding some of the flow. They're trying to increase and make the traffic flow better. Super appreciative of Mr. Beck's vision and what the fair board's doing out there, because I will say, as a patron and somebody who attends other events there, the flow of getting in and out of the main entrance is fantastic compared to what it was years ago. Now, I'm not as huge of a fan for the roundabout, because trying to get a trailer around the roundabout is a challenge for me. So I really don't like it. I'm sure for the folks that have these big toter homes, but my trailer is only 35 feet long or 34 feet long, and I'm not the most gifted driver in the world for sure when it comes to driving the gooseneck. But I did make a hot lap around that new roundabout last year when I was down there. I'm looking forward to doing a little running around the fairgrounds and just being out there. I've been trying to get more actively running here a little bit more and now that I'm going to be down there again, like I said, I'll try to get out the door a few more times and enjoy myself around the fairgrounds there. It's going to be an awesome show for the sheep, and obviously I'll try to get some scoop while I'm down there about what that building will be for you as well.
Well, and they got Gate 4 done. Gate 4 was completed after the farm show, and just gorgeous. I mean, it's top notch. I mean, and they're supposed to do that to all the, the other gates too as well.
That's the one coming off of Crittenden Drive there.
Gate 4, yeah, right by the hotel.
Garden Inn.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, that's Gate 4 there, and then I think the next one down is 3.
3.
I think that's the one we had to use last year to get in and out of. But yeah, no, it's you can tell the vision, and one thing that's impressive to me is they use that fairgrounds just about every weekend.
Oh yeah.
One weekend you go by there and they had the linemen, there was bucket trucks. The whole parking lot was bucket trucks. So if you're if you're a utility worker, utility equipment, they had like a utility equipment show with bucket trucks all, with their buckets up in the air and you name it. And then, like you say, the next week the whole complex is farm animals, and that's just really cool how they do that.
Well, they've had the World of Concrete there. They've had the big, large landscaping and turf conference there. Like, there's been a lot of really, really big conferences hosted there in the last 18 months, 2 years, and like I said, that they bid for those things. Most of those events put out an RFP and let somebody send a bid, and you get to think about that and think, hey, just how much flow there has to be to that whole thing and how it works. So, at the end of this week, when the North American concludes and we get done, let's say next week is the show will officially end next Thursday. So 10 days from now, roughly, they will have to take all the pins out, take all the gates out, everything completely, clean that floor and get everything ready. And then the next thing they may be putting carpet and booth spaces right back in, with electrical outlets, and they may be bringing in the booms to hang all of the signage. And I mean, it's just remarkable how unreal they do it.
They'll have the home garden and flower, I think, and then the RV, the boat sport and vacation shows usually comes up in around January, I think. And then
Car show, I think.
Carl Casper's, or what they used to call Carl Casper's. I think it's World of Wheels now or something like that.
Yeah. Miles, when do you have to go in there then? When are you allowed to?
So we could technically move tack in tomorrow and animals in tomorrow. We're not coming down until Thursday morning. We'll be down early Thursday morning. And then basically from there, show sheep Friday and showmanship, and then they actually start with the commercial U show on Friday. And then Saturday is really when the ball really gets rolling with most of the breeding shows. We will show one Dorset Advantage ewe on Saturday, and then on Sunday we'll show a bunch of ewes to the South Downs, and then both girls have one market wether to show on Saturday. And so it's they kind of segregate that, split it. There's a wall, obviously dividing wall between the two expo halls there, and so the market show will be on one side of the wall, the ewe show, breeding show will be on the other side of the wall, and so we'll get a chance to kind of show on both sides and see where we stand. It's I mean, this is the World Series for us. It's the biggest, baddest deal that you can go to. So, you know, I will say that this year it's a little bit different for us because, you know, we have travel softball and we've had a lot of things that have kind of added to our plate that have made us not maybe as dialed in as we've traditionally tried to be. But, you know, when we get down there, we're going to hone in and get everything ready and see where we can be to finish. So we get done with that and we get home and we'll convert our barn over. And about 3 weeks later, we're going to start to welcome babies. We have 20 ewes basically due to have babies just before Christmas, around Christmas time.
Now, will Lenny get to show this time too?
All three of them are going to show.
3 of them. Okay, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
Awesome.
They'll all be in showmanship on Friday. And then Lynn will show weather on Saturday, and Landry will show weather on Saturday, and Landry will show you on Saturday. And then on Sunday, Lynn will have 3 to show, and Landry will have 5 to show.
Good deal.
So, yeah, we're bringing 8 sheep with us, and then it'll just be – last year we took 13, so hopefully a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit more relaxed and laid back.
Good deal. So, fellas, how far off are we until we start seeing farm show invites hitting mailboxes?
Hard to say, right? I mean, last year was what, December?
I mean, Thanksgiving's always kind of been a metric.
We're kind of in that window, like we're getting there. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back, 10 years ago, well, let's say 12 years ago, 15 years ago, when I was working at Chronotrack, I remember being in Miami, and that was always the first full weekend in November. So it would have been like this past weekend. Is when the list was usually posted, because it was usually posted while I was in Miami.
Right.
But they used to always have a pretty firm deadline of October 1, and we've now moved that firm deadline back to about the 15th. And I do know that with U.S. mail and with some of the things that occurred, there were a lot of folks that didn't get their letters for application in the mail. So we had to go to kind of that, encourage everybody to get the digital form off of the website and apply that way. And for some folks, I know there was, just trying to get them there on October 15th was a bit of a challenge. But I'm anxious to see how this works. I'm anxious to see what things look like. You think we've talked about it and debated about what a mod field could look like and how we integrate light mod unlimited. I'm anxious to see what a two-wheel drive truck class looks like, knowing that some of our traditional people that have always been in did not apply this year. I have heard, from the pro stock perspective, there are some new builds that have applied, but there are also some folks who have traditionally been very regular in terms of their application and being in, and they did not apply in the pro stock side. So does that mean we get to have some new debuts down there that will allow us to check and see kind of how that goes? I think it'll be pretty neat. And I think that, I'm not here to tell you that I think that adds value to the show, but I do think that for us collectively, when we can invite new vehicles and invite new pullers to experience what we all think is great, the fans will enjoy that too. So, and I got something to throw at the both of you, and maybe a topic that we want to have for another day. But while I was running today, I had something else kind of come by my mind. And I wondered, years ago, we tried to do kind of what I would categorically call a media ranking, where some of us were each submitting kind of how we would rank pullers based on the class. And we were trying to do that each week, and sort of the power rankings. But I'm intrigued by the CFP and how the CFP works and what the computer system tells us about the CFP. And I watched a, interview with Lane Kiffin, who's the football coach at Ole Miss. And, he talked about how there's sort of you look at Texas A&M, and Texas A&M right now is currently ranked number 3 in the country. Their off-season schedule, they traveled to Notre Dame and they beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame, but it gained them nothing in terms of the respect factor based off of the computer system. So because they have this road win, they're still ranked behind Indiana that has no real significant wins from the early part of the season, and they're ranked behind Ohio State, who had no real significant wins from the early part of the season. They have conference success wins, but they don't have these, wins that you would categorically call really big strength of schedule.
Right.
So that got me thinking, is there a way that at the end of the year you could have like a 10 vehicle playoff where essentially you went to certain events and those certain events gained you at large points or whatever you want to say, and then the people that had the highest at large points based off of their strength of schedule were invited to come and compete. It would be something similar. Maybe you would think of to the Pullers Championship and that format that those guys, of course, started several years ago in Nashville. But more, kind of the format of how it could be like you had a rolling schedule and you could see, hey, at the current time, you're number 10 and in number 11, you're not in the show, you're on the bubble. And then the next week, hey, you're number 7 and you've moved up 2 spots because you finished second at this event. You're smiling, Jeremy.
No, I'm just thinking about the CFP. You hear these people talk about quality wins, and I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? So, like,
Yeah,
okay, so you got to win a super national to be, that's a quality win.
A quality win, or
what's a quality win for us? What does that mean? Like,
see, we've already got it spinning and circling, and we're circling the wagons here. Let's go.
Yes.
And as we get deeper in this whole process,
what's your RPI or whatever? There's all these,
strength of schedule.
Schedule.
You go to Farley in 2025. You go to Farley. You think about Jared Nelson. Let's just circle Jared Nelson for this year. Jared wins Farley, $50,000. Then he comes out of Farley and he wins a Pro Pulling League points championship. His strength of schedule is pretty high. He has a PPL championship. He has a Farley win. You got to think he's ranked somewhere in that top 5. You look at Chase, and Chase wins an NTPA Grand National Points Championship. He won the Farm Machinery Show on Saturday night. So, you think about quality wins.
Key wins, right.
And fellas, that's pretty big. And, he won at Bowling Green. So that dude's got to be in, So regardless of where they finished other events or where they've been, their strength of schedule in the big events is pretty high.
Right there, right.
And so but then the next question is what does that mean for the mid-major? And we've got the Power 5s.
I was gonna say, so does that mean like Brandenburg, Kentucky is a quad 3? like where are we going with this? Bowling Green, Toma, those are quad 1s. Chapel Hill's quad
Chapel
1.
Hill, Super National, right? And
then you have to go across the board. Is Henry, Illinois quad 1?
Well, what about the Outlaws? What's
Wisner, Nebraska, Rock Valley, Iowa. Like, if you're going to tabulate all this, that's great. But I already have a headache, and I'm just sitting here talking.
I'll tabulate it. I'll put it all into a spreadsheet, and we'll assign values to it, and we'll make it work. We'll just have a swinging scale. But I just think in general, fellas, like, even if it's just a talking point, something fun for us to discuss and something for us to talk about and be able to come and generate a little discussion here and there, I think it's pretty neat. And you don't have to have an event at the end of the year. I mean, think about it. Enderley already happens, and that's the playoff essentially for the NTPA, and that's a pretty neat format now. Top 5 arrive there. Top 5 have a chance to win. I do think they've got to change that. I'll get back on my soapbox and tell you I do think they've got to change that. We've got to have a point system where the guy that's in 5th has a chance to win.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm already slick-headed enough to be Paul Feinbaum, so I guess I could just do this. Put a tie on and let's go.
Yeah. But no, that's like I said, as I ran, I pondered that the entire time I ran today.
I love that. I think that's you could talk for days about that. But there's so many angles that you're literally gonna lose your mind.
Yeah, no, I get it.
The rabbit hole that I don't know if we can get out of it.
You get a guy who goes and runs TNT, and he has 10 wins on the TNT circuit.
Are those quality wins?
Or does that put him on the cusp? And is his strength of schedule enough to do it? Does a guy who
I would say yes, because if you look at that organization, they're pulling against 20, 25 trucks a weekend, right?
Well, yes, but I would say, but if you're talking like long wheelbase super modified fours, that's the only sanctioning body they can pull with one exception. So they can't go to Ohio and pull with OSTPA. And so are those quality wins?
Well,
you sweep the season, I would think yes.
We would almost have to. You'd almost have to pick the classes that we're
going to start it. We're going to hone it in and start it on just a few of them.
Okay, there he's.
We're going to start. I can already tell you where we're going with one of them. 7,400 pound.
Now we got to throw the California tractors in there.
Let's go.
We got Outlaws. We got.
Let's go.
ITPA.
We're going with it.
Okay.
We're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Okay.
And we'll be able to put them all together and just see what we think. And we don't have to do it every week, but I just think it would be a lot of fun for us to kind of debate. Okay, now look, if we were going to have our playoff, our pulling playoff at the end of the season, here's who'd be in. I've always thought about doing that for Farm Show. Like, here's who I think will be in the Farm Show in June. Look, here's how the points fall right now. Here's who I think is going to be in the Farm Show in July. Here's how the Farm Show rankings would look in August. And you hang your season up for the most people in September. And guess what? Here's how I look at it. And here's how I would rank everybody in September.
And we need to get the graphics guy to get us a big, like, Jim Mora playoffs. Talk about playoffs. Kidding me?
I think it would be interesting to, like Miles said, come, June, see where everybody's at. And then, as the season rolls along and you get to August, September.
Yeah, absolutely.
How they change, And
well, it's like Indiana's 10-0, and so too is Ohio State.
Quality wins.
Now you're going to look at it and you're going to say, okay, Indiana has beaten number 7 Oregon already this season. They have a road win at Penn State. Penn State's now 3-6. Probably doesn't help your schedule.
No.
Iowa is 500 level team.
No.
You're getting ready to play Wisconsin at home, so that gains them nothing.
Right.
But you look at number 4 and number 5 in the CFP right now, that's Alabama and Georgia. Alabama's already beat Georgia. So if you look at who has beat the toughest team in this deal, Alabama has the highest win against the highest ranked next opponent in this deal. So by all intents and purposes, as the Crimson Tide, the toughest team, is Georgia with a loss right there, 2 losses or whatever you want to say. Are they, I guess 1 loss, are they the next team? Like, I just think there's a lot to say about it. So you go to Toma and you get somebody who gets a win and gets a second, their weekend is huge. Then that next week they go out and they hit the road and they go to, the next event on the schedule and they finish 10th and 17th. And then later in the season, they get a 20th and a 25th. And then they get a win at Bowling Green. Is their body of work, where does that rank them?
Right. But then I think you also use this, this put you the end of the season, you tabulate all this and you put a little pretty bow on it. And that's your invitation to the Farm Show. That's your body of work. That's what have you done? And, the people who do the best are the ones who are going to get in there.
So there's no doubt I'm a running idiot. I talk about it all the time, and I coach high school cross country. I help with a high school team here in Bar Reeve. There's a website called INCC Stats, and some gentleman has literally built an algorithm and put together a computer system where he has graded the courses that these kids run on, and he assigns a value to them comparative to the Terre Haute State cross country course.
Wow.
And so at At our peak this year, the Bar Reef cross country team's highest performance was 27th. And at our worst, our lowest performance was 65th as compared to all of the teams in the state of Indiana on a given weekend. And every week after we raced, I could log in and look at our graded results to see where we were comparative to all the teams in the state of Indiana. And at that same time, he has a projection of where you will finish in the sectional, in the regional, and in the state tournament. So
Wow.
my guys, he projected my guys would win the sectional. They did. He projected my guys would finish 4th in the regional. They did. And he projected my guys would finish 23rd in the state championships. We were 24th. So, and all of this was a projection that he had built into the system that was just constantly rolling throughout the entire season. And it took our highest grade and it took our lowest grade, and it just kept building them comparative to all of the teams across the state of Indiana every single week.
Well, what if we had a website in the pulling world that could do that?
I think if there was a website where somebody would just log in and be
Maybe that guy could build that.
There's a website that you could. Never mind. I mean, there used to be a website where you could do that.
Got a meeting with him tomorrow.
Offshore and 100
2:30.
rare photos.
November. Here's my note. Go Daddy, November 12th at 2:30.
Racing summaries,
Yeah.
box scores,
That guy could build a pulling website.
and hundreds and hundreds.
I will reach out and see if I can get him to help me build an algorithm that will allow us to grade pulling.
That would be neat. That'd be interesting.
That would be really cool.
That'd be neat.
But I'm telling you, like, fellas, of the 25 teams that made it to the Indiana State meet, he projected 24 of the 25.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
That's
Moneyball. Moneyball.
I mean,
Right.
it was it was legit.
So is he kind of like there's a guy in Indiana that does Indiana high school basketball. I can't remember his name.
Harrell.
Yeah,
John Harrell.
John Harrell. So it's kind of like that for running.
Essentially, but he also does like other things. He's got other things on there, but like I said, he's built this algorithm, and over the course of a few years, in let's say 10 years, I've been looking at this website. So, but he has been able to say, okay, Dan ran on the South Knox course on Saturday, Miles ran at Angel Mounds in Evansville, and Jeremy ran in Seneca Park in Kentucky. Jeremy's course is 17 seconds faster than Terre Haute. Dan's course is 14 seconds slower than Terre Haute. Miles's course is even to Terre Haute. Then he plugs all of our times into it, and he grades that based off of this algorithm that he has assigned to every single course across the country, or across the state.
Wow. Whew.
And he does that every weekend.
Wow.
So every Sunday night at about 7 o'clock, you could log into INCC Stats, and you could immediately say, okay, guys, we've got some work to do. You know, right now we're projected to finish 7th at the regional, and 5 teams make it to the state meet. If you want to be top 5, we got to run better next week.
Yeah. That gives you wow.
So, hey, fellas, we just finished 7th at Toma, and right now we're not in the top 10.
Right.
Do you want to move up? Okay, well, we better turn the wick up.
Yeah, we better get
Which at the end of the year, that doesn't mean anything for them. My kids were going to make it to state, so it was a big deal for us. You know, for them, they may get a fortune cookie from us that tells them congratulations and great job.
Fair. I like that.
wow.
A fortune cookie.
And just for the reference sake, Dan, we didn't make it to our topic of conversation here at this evening, so we've been
That's okay though.
spinning it.
we always seem to I kind of like the this analytic-y
I'm a numbers guy. I love them.
yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. See how that would work in the sport of pulling. Would be
My name's Jeff. Yeah, got nothing. I got nothing. But I do think that would be fun to let Miles tabulate all that.
Yeah. Whew.
We can
It's a
figure
lot
it
of-
out. We'll get it figured out.
That's that's a lot of
The hardest part about that whole deal will be exactly what we talked about, and that would be assigning a certain value to
Right.
each event.
certain things.
So,
Right.
what's the event worth?
Quality
No
weight.
different than assigning an estimated differential for the course. So this course is worth a 14-second positive gain, and this one's worth a 17-second negative, and we've got to know how to do that. So
we take the best track, and then we model it compared to that particular
the
track.
sad thing in that scenario is the best track may be an ITPA hook in Illinois that only has 9 limited pro stock tractors, but that blue tractor that we love from Illinois that might find its way into the power rankings because it also shows up at at Farley or wherever, may end up ranked somewhere in the midst of that whole scenario, or is it Ratterman's or who is it in that group of really tough running Illinois tractors that also goes to find an amazing track that they pull on. And I mean, it's no secret. You can talk to some of those guys that run on the national circuit that also run in Illinois or wherever it be, and they'll tell you that some of their favorite tracks are not the national tracks.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
And then where we saw Farley last year was probably the best track.
It's a good track
that we saw vehicles pull on last year. I'd have to pretty much say.
I know some super stock diesel 4x4 guys who are still scratching their heads.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's Miles.
I'm not getting to work on that this week because I'm going to be taking care of some sheep. But next week,
I figured
I'll send some emails and see what I can come up with.
10-4.
All right. Well, now we know what's coming. Now we know what's coming.
Yeah, pulling-reference.com.
What's that?
There's no more hyphen anymore.
Oh, pullingreference.com.
I've eliminated that. It's just pullingreference.com. And if they could just get a couple things right here and there, we'd be good. And I'm publishing. I'm publishing before the end of the year. I'm telling them, just publish it.
I'll say, me and Jeremy are just going to start flipping switches and trying to find all your
Wayback Machine and just use that old stuff. And
not for the Wayback Machine.
Turn it on.
Yeah,
I'm going to call GoDaddy and pretend to be you and be like, "Hey, just turn it on. Turn it on. It's okay if it's not right. Just turn it on."
It is, Dan. It is an awesome scenario that on a Saturday night on a non-pulling weekend, I get a text message from a puller from Wisconsin that says, "Hey, whatever happened to that website where we all used to be able to look at our statistics?"
Yeah, about that.
I'm like, yeah, it's coming back
sometime.
The problem I have is, like a company like GoDaddy, I would have thought that that's something that they would have dealt with over. They just seem like this is such out of the. I mean, there's all kinds of statistical websites.
Yeah, but
are they wiki sites? I mean, what is?
They're way plug and play though. They just have like templates, and you have to be able to fit your stuff in their little boxes. And if you can't, then and you're not a WordPress wizard. Then
nowadays, yeah. I mean, I used to, everything was on Excel spreadsheets, and you just copy paste, and there it showed up on a website. And now all of a sudden, it's like I don't know. Yeah, it's. Yeah. I got so many damn notes and everything, and they're here. You go, got to send me this and this, and
yeah.
And then every time they fix something, something else gets all wonky, and so I give up. I'm going to just publish it, and it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. But
all right,
we'll be your first two to visit.
Absolutely, I'm there with bells on. I just need to know when I can go.
Let's be ready.
I'll be a beta tester. Turn it on now. Let me test it.
Daddy. Yes, sir.
Well, I'll send you the link. You guys can play around with it. I mean, you can just don't ask for any improvements because I want to get this thing published before we start. Someday it'll be up. Maybe tomorrow.
Heck yeah, let's go.
I'm with you.
Well, guys, that'll do it for this week. We got PPL this weekend. You're going to be down south, Kentucky.
Yes, sir.
Kentucky Tractor Pullers, and Miles, you're going to be at the North American. So
15 minutes away from the red carpet tractor pulling event here in Louisville. So I always enjoy making it to the banquet when I've been able to, just to get to see pullers in formal wear.
Yeah, that's always a good. Of course, the PPL banquet's always a grand affair, always a good time as well. And
I am sad I'm going to miss Tanner Nelson make his speech. I mean, you
Yeah.
think about the youngest rookie or first rookie and youngest winner to make
Yes.
it. I'd like to be able to hear him make his speech, but somebody will record it for me. So,
Absolutely.
but thanks, guys. 35 in.
35 in, onward and upward.
Let's roll.
All right, we'll see you.